Hey Star Trek fans, welcome back to Kertrats Productions and another week in Trek. It's October, which means big things are coming for Star Trek later this month, including the New York Comic-Con in just a couple of short weeks, as well as the return of Star Trek Lower Decks for the 5th and final season on Paramount+. But before then, we still have a couple more weeks, and with them, some Star Trek news and releases. So without further ado, let's get into this week's news.
I promised the Federation News Service a first-hand account of the battle.
You'll get it.
A few weeks back, we reported on the announcement of Universal Studios Hollywood's inclusion of Star Trek in their upcoming Fan Fest Nights events. Well, now we have some more exciting information about one piece of Star Trek history that fans can experience during the Fan Fest Nights, which begin in the spring of 2025. As you all know, the bridge of the Enterprise D was meticulously restored for the final episodes of Star Trek Picard's third season. After the series wrapped, the bridge was not destroyed as most Hollywood sets would have been, but rather was very carefully taken apart and put into storage. Now we have learned that the bridge will be a part of the FanFest Nights event, allowing fans to experience the bridge of the Enterprise D firsthand. Here's a snippet of the announcement by Universal. Inspired by the Star Trek universe that has entertained millions of fans, this exciting experience will boldly take guests on an immersive and thrilling adventure aboard the USS Enterprise D, where they will have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to step onto the bridge, an original set piece featured in the third and final season of Star Trek Picard. The 2025 Universal FanFest Nights are scheduled to take place on April 25th to 27th, May 2nd to 4th, May 9th to 11th, and May 16th to 18th. Keep a close eye on this space for more news about the programming for the FanFest Nights as we get closer to those dates. Star Trek Lower Decks returns to television screens for a 5th season beginning on October 24th, and in anticipation of its return, Paramount has made Season 4 of the show available for free on both YouTube and Pluto TV. All 10 episodes of the 4th season are currently available on YouTube in the US to stream for free, and thanks to TrekMovie.com, a playlist can be accessed that features Season 4 beginning with the premiere episode Tuvix. I will of course have a link to that playlist in the video description. In addition to YouTube, Season 4 of Lower Decks is now available in the US on the free streaming service Pluto TV. Link, as always, in the description.
Oh, very clever, Worf. Eat any good books lately?
Last week we were treated to 2 big Star Trek book releases, one of which I've personally been looking forward to for quite a while now. Released on Tuesday, October 1st, Star Trek Open a Channel, A Woman's Trek by Nana Visitor, none other than Kira Nerys herself. This is an incredibly hefty and beautiful tome that is well worth picking up for any fan of Star Trek. Here's the publisher's description from Inside Editions. Nana Visitor, Star Trek Deep Space Nine's Kira Nerys, explores how the series has portrayed and influenced women. Interviews with the stars, writers, producers, and audience members from all walks of life, including a politician and an astronaut, highlight the struggles and triumphs of women both behind and in front of the camera throughout the 60-year history of Star Trek, and how they have mirrored the experiences of women everywhere. I'm partway through the book myself, and it really is worth picking up. As a bonus, keep an eye out for an upcoming special episode of the Positively Trek Book Club podcast, in which we will be covering this book. There may be other surprises in that episode as well. Also out last week on the 1st, Star Trek Library Collection Volume 3 from IDW, collecting a number of comic series from the past few years. Here's the description from IDW. The Star Trek Library Collection is a comprehensive line of books that will collect every Star Trek miniseries published by IDW. In Volume 3, read a selection of the Alien Spotlight one-shots and the entirety of the Star Trek Year 4 series. First, 2 series set during the 4th year of the USS Enterprise's 5-year mission. In Star Trek Year 4, the Enterprise encounters a strange series of planets, arranged to look like a strand of DNA floating through space. The crew can't help but explore once Spock realizes that the desolate structure once supported more than 800 billion beings in the past. By David Tishman, Leonard O'Grady, Steve Conley, Gordon Purcell, and Joe and Rob Sharp. In a sequel to the Enterprise Incident, the Enterprise Experiment details the Federation's experiments with a Romulan cloaking device by D.C. Fontana, Derek Chester, and Gordon Purcell. Also collected are 2 one-shots featuring Vulcans and the Gorn. A Starfleet starship arrives at a planet on the brink of its own destruction. A once peaceful society is now savage and warlike, linking itself to the turmoiled past of the Vulcans, by James Patrick and Josep Maria Beloy. Then, after their shuttlecraft crash lands on an uncharted planet, Captain Tyrrell and Commander Chekhov calculate that their odds of survival are somewhat decreased when they find themselves facing off against an army of Gorn warriors, by Scott and David Tipton and David Messina. Links to purchase both of these books can be found in the video description below. No new releases this week means that that's it for This Week in Trek. Thank you so much for joining me, and thanks as always to the Patreon supporters. Join me again in the next episode, and make sure to have a wonderful week. Take care of yourselves, and take care of each other. And of course, as always, live long and prosper.